Welcome back. About 10 minutes before 9 o'clock this morning, Attorney Charley O'Hara is in our studio. Thank you, as always, for coming in. We always appreciate your insight and your expertise. We have at least one caller on the line right now. Let's go ahead and get straight to your question. Go ahead. You're live with Charley.
Hi. I was needing to find out about what process I would need to go to press slander charges on my father.
Well, I assume you're saying that someone's talking badly about you, and when that happens, quite frankly, it happens a lot to a lot of us. Usually, there's not a whole lot you can do. Now, if they're putting it on, TV, or they're putting ads in the newspaper and saying bad things about you and intentionally making lies against you, then you can begin to do some things. But normally, the conversations happen. People talk. We have freedom of the press, freedom to speak. If people say things about you that you don't like, you basically kind of have to ignore it like you did as a kid back in grade school when you're at recess and people teased you. You have to be able to handle it. Now, sometimes when it gets extreme, you can file a lawsuit. Basically, all you can do is tell them not to do it, and people still do it again, and it becomes a real tough process. You usually aren't real successful in those.
Does it matter if what they're saying is true or false?
It does matter. If someone, especially if someone's putting, if you're a well-known person and they're putting just out lies to destroy you,
right,
or if you're a person that's in a business and they're just trying to destroy you, making up things, then it becomes a real problem.
All right. Thank you very much. Hope that question helped you. We have another caller on the line right now. Go ahead. You're live with Charley. What's your question?
My step-parents, or my stepdad, just passed away in October, and my mother passed away 4 years ago. And me and my brother are the only sole heirs, and I just don't know what to do as far as getting some satisfaction because there's nothing happening with it.
I assume you're talking about the assets. If people pass away with assets, that is a problem. And when you have those assets, I don't usually think it costs a lot. You ought to really go to an attorney, talk to an attorney. They can file some paperwork and get everything straightened out so you can go around and get all the problems straightened up. Obviously, if there's assets, they need to be divided between the heirs of the property. If there's no will, if there's a will, it needs to go through court. But an attorney can simply answer those questions pretty quickly and simply, and it's probably pretty inexpensive unless you have a huge estate. If you have a lot of money, it changes a little bit. There's a lot more to do.
All right. Okay. Interesting situation there with that, because some people, nobody anticipates to die unless you're really old, and so the importance of getting a will probably solves a lot of those problems.
Well, it does, but we do have a way in Kansas that it's divided.
Okay.
And so, it's pretty fair the way it's divided, but a will is obviously better because you get your own intentions, and most attorneys will draw up a will really relatively inexpensively and give you some advice, some basic advice for your finances, and that's what you really need. I think people are scared to go to attorneys. They shouldn't be. An attorney usually that's got some experience is going to know what to do. They can tell you pretty quickly. It's pretty inexpensive, and then you can rest a little bit more assured.
And that's the expertise. It's the law, your way around it, or to work with it, and be able to help us out. Those of us who did not spend years in law school and years in this profession. All right, thank you so much as always. All right, another quick break. We'll be right back.